Hello everyone, Cousin here, and in this video, I'm gonna be solving Wordle number 1252 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for November 22nd, 2024. So let's get this video started with Wordle number 1252. I'm gonna start with the word burnt. Alright, got the R yellow. So this letter goes somewhere else in this word. It could be a double consonant involving an R at the beginning of this word, for example, DR, CR, FR, GR, PR, these are, or even WR, or it might end in ER, or RY, or RL, RP, so all kinds of combinations. Let me try, let's see, what is a good word? Let's try crops. Okay, got the R and P yellow. Still have not placed the R. So it could still be ER ending with a P before it. Hyper. It could be hyper, but P could also go first. It could also go first. Um, in this case, paler. Let's try paler. Okay, interesting. Wow, what is going on here? Okay, so I basically have every single letter. So I've placed P as the first letter, and the letter R cannot go second, nor third, nor fifth. So it must go fourth. Then it has to be pearl. Alright, got today's final answer in 4 tries. Um, yeah, that was kind of funny. On my third guess, I managed to get every letter of the Wordle answer in the word, but the orders are mixed up. The order is mixed up. So instead of pearl, I guessed paler. Um, because I only thought of ER ending and placing the P somewhere, so I didn't really care about getting the exact word. So I feel like crops did help a bit. So yeah, that elimination. Well, not really elimination, but just made a new guess. So anyway, got today's Wordle answer Pearl in 4 tries. I'll take it. Not a bad performance overall. And yeah, this is Wordle number 1252. Pearl is the Wordle answer for today. Got it in 4 tries. After I'm done with this, let's move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is November 22nd, 2024. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku. I see that these twos point up, and these twos point down, where this cell sees another 2. So in block 7, the digit 2 is forced into this cell, and then these twos force the digit 2 into this cell in block 5, and then these twos point up, where this cell sees another 2. This 3 points down to force the digit 3 into column 1 in block 4, and then these 3s point down, where this cell sees another 3. Any other 3s? We've only got these 3s, so that's all I'm going to mark for now. This 9 points up to force the digit 9 into column 1 in block 4. So these two cells form a 3-9 pair. As you can see, in block 4, the digits 3 and 9 are missing. And 3 and 9 here take 3 and 9 out of these 3 cells. So these 3 open cells cannot contain 3 and 9. So in order to fit both 3 and 9 into block 4, I have to make these 2 open cells reserved for 3 and 9, because these are the 2 cells where 3 and 9 can only go into. 3 and 9 can only go into these 2 cells in block 4, so I have to make them reserved for 3 and 9 in order to fit both of them. So this 3-9 pair eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells, which makes the other 3 open cells in block 4 a 4, Okay, actually a 148 triple. So 148, the cell sees 1, so it's 48, 148. So this is, I mean, these three cells form the 148 triple. Now, this 148 triple lines up in column 3. All of these three open cells involved in this 148 triple lies in column 3, so it also works for column 3. In column 3, there is a 148 triple, which means that the other three open cells in this column form another triple of 5, 6, and 7. The cell sees 5, so it's 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. All right. Okay, in row 9, in row 9, 1, 4, 5, and 8 are the missing digits. These two cells see another 1. So in row 9, the digit 1 is forced into one of these two cells, and because 1 is guaranteed into one of these two cells for this row, which means it, no matter what, ends up in one of these two cells, because of that, I can eliminate 1 from all other open cells in block 7. So yeah, no other open cells in block 7 can contain a 1 because ones are 1 is guaranteed into one of these two cells down here. I can also mark the digit 1 into one of these two cells in block 1. Remember, this cell sees 1 from this 148 triple. I can also say that these ones point down. This 7 points right and this 7 points up. So in block 6, the digit 7 is forced into row 5. These 6's point down and this cell sees another 6. So in block 8, the digit 6 is forced into this cell, and then these 6's points left and this cell sees another 6. So in block 7, the digit 6 is forced into this cell, which eliminates 6 from this cell. So indeed, the digit 6 in block 1 is forced into one of these two cells only. I can also mark down the digit 6, which goes into one of these two cells in block 6, because this also sees another 6. As you can see, this 6 removed one of the two possibilities for the placement of 3, so I can immediately put a 3 into this cell based on the markings. Of course, you can double check it by looking at these 3's, which does indeed put a 3 into this cell, and then these 3's points right, this cell sees another 3. Alright, in column 2, 1, 4, and 8 are the missing digits. This cell sees 8, so it's 1 or 4. This cell sees 1, so it's 4 or 8. And down here, 1, 4, 8. So 1, 4, 8 are the missing digits of column 2. This 8 points down, and this 8 points right. So in block 9, the digit 8 is forced into column 7. And then these 8s force the digit 8 into one of these two cells in block 6. This 8 points left, and this 8 points up, to force the digit 8 into this cell in block 2, which eliminates 8 from this cell. So now, in column 2, this cell sees 1 and 8. So this cell can only be a 4. And this cell now sees 4 and 8, so this cell is a 1, and this cell is an 8. So these three digits are placed like this to complete this column. And now, in row 9, after 8 occupied the cell, the digit 1 is forced into the cell because the other open cells cannot contain a 1. So The only cell where 1 can go into in row 9 is the cell. So I must put a 1 here, leaving a 457 triple in block 7. So this cell cannot contain 1. Okay, the missing digits of block 1 are 5, 6, 7, and 8. This 5 forces 5 into one of these two cells up here, and then these 5s point right. 6, because of this 6 is forced into one of these two cells. 7, I think it can go in any of these 4 cells for now. And because of this 8, the digit 8 is forced into one of these two cells down here. Oh, but this cell also cannot contain 8. Right. This 8 points left, and this cell also cannot contain 8 because it sees 8 from this 148 triple. So in block 1, the digit 8 is forced into this cell. Okay, these 8s force the digit 8 into one of these two cells in block 5. In row 2, 5, 7, and 9 are the missing digits. This cell sees 5, so it's 7 or 9. This cell sees 9, so it's 5 or 7. This cell sees 7, so it's 5 or 9. Okay, 8 in this cell is eliminated. I can force the digit 8 into this cell in block 9. The missing digits of row 9 are 4 and 5, so let's mark that down. Hmm. Okay, I see it. In row 5, 3 and 9 are missing digits. These 3 open cells here, of course, see 3 and 9, obviously. So these 3 cells cannot contain 3 and 9, but also, this cell cannot contain 3 and 9, because this cell is a part of the 148 triple, and 3 and 9 are not 1, 4, and 8. So 3 and 9 are eliminated from from this cell, because they are not 4 and 8. So in row 5, these 4 open cells cannot contain 3 and 9. So where do these two digits go? Well, only in these two cells in this row. In row 5, both 3 and 9 can only go into these two cells. In order to fit both 3 and 9 into row 5, I have to make these two cells reserved for 3 and 9, because both of these two digits can only go into these two cells. Because both 3 and 9 can only go into these two cells, I must make them reserved. I must make these two cells reserved for 3 and 9 in order to fit both of these two digits in this row. So this 3-9 pair eliminates all other digits from these two cells, and it also means that the other 4 open cells in this row contain 4, 6, 7, and 8. So let's mark that down. 4s I think are not really limited. 6 in one of these two cells because of this 6, 7 in one of these two cells because of this 7, and 8 in one of these two cells in this row. Okay, I think I see something else. So, um, 3 and 9 here, points left. So these three cells cannot contain 3 or 9. So one of the 3 and 9 in block 5 goes in this cell. So where does the other 3 and 9 go in block 5? Well, the other 3 or 9, well, okay, if this cell ends up being a 3, 9 is forced into one of these two cells up here. And if this cell ends up being a 9, 3 is forced into this cell because of this 3. So whether or not 3 or 9 goes into the cell, the other one goes up here. So we've got one of the 3 and 9 down here, and the other 3 or 9 up here. So you can say it's a virtual pair, a virtual 3-9 pair, but I'm not really used to that term, so I don't really want to use it confidently, but you know that now in row 4, one of the 3-9 goes here, and the other 3 or 9 go into one of these two cells. Again, because in block 5, um, 3, 3 and 9 here, force one of the 3 and 9 into this cell, and the other 3 and 9 into one of these two cells. And now in row 4, one of the 3-9 go into this cell, and the other 3-9 go into one of these two cells. So what does that mean? It means that the other open cells must contain the other missing digits of row 4 than 3 or 9. Because we've already got 3 and 9 in row 4. So that means the other cells, the other open cells in row 4 contain the other missing digits, which are 1, 4, 5, and 8. This cell sees 1 and 8. So it's either these 4 cells are for 1, 4, 5, and 8, or these 4 open cells are for 1, 4, 5, and 8. We don't know which one. But what I can say is that this cell is among the 1, 4, 5, 8 cell, and this cell sees 1 and 8. So this cell can only contain either 4 or 5. And now in column 7, we have a 4-5 pair. We have a 4-5 pair. As you can see in column 7, we have two open cells which only contain 4 and 5. In Sudoku, we cannot leave cells empty, so I must fit one digit into every cell. And we have to use that property, because in order to avoid empty cells, I must keep both 4 and 5 in these two cells. Either it's 4-5 or 5-4. No other combinations, otherwise there would be empty cells. So I must keep both 4 and 5 in these two cells to avoid empty cells. So this 4-5 pair eliminates 4s and 5s from all other open cells in this column, which means that this cell cannot contain 4. It also means that the other 4 open cells in this column are for 2, 6, 7, and 9. This cell sees 2, 6, and 7, so indeed this must be a 9. Alright, again, if I'm going too fast, you can double check it by first marking down all digits 1 through 9 in this cell and eliminating them one by one. So this cell sees 1, this cell sees 2, it sees 3, sees 4 and 5, because this cell sees both of the cells involved in the 4-5 pair, so no 4s and 5s in this cell. It also sees 6, 7, and 8. And again, I have to mention that in Sudoku, we cannot leave cells empty, so I must fit one digit into every cell. And if this cell cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, then 9 is the only digit that can go into this cell, so I must make this a 9. If I don't make this a 9, this cell would end up being empty. And of course, we don't want that. So in order to avoid empty cells, I must make this a 9. And then these 9s points up, and this cell sees another 9. So in block 3, the digit 9 is forced into this cell, which makes this a 7 and this a 5 to complete this row. Okay, the digit 7 in block 5 is forced into one of these two cells. Okay, I can tell you that this cell is not 4 or 5. But yeah. This cell has to be either 3 or 9. But that makes use of the uniqueness of Sudoku puzzles. This cannot be 4 or 5 only, because there would be two solutions. 4, 5, 5, 4, or 5, 4, 4, 5, like this. So if you really want to make use of the uniqueness of Sudoku puzzles, you can do that, but I don't prefer explaining how to approach Sudoku puzzles in that way. I'll only use that method if I get really stuck. So yeah, I won't explain that in detail. So apologies, but I really won't. Okay, the digit 9 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells. Okay, this cell is the 4 or 5. Okay, so yeah, make use of that method again. It's the most straightforward. Literally the most straightforward method. Uh, First mark down all digits 1 through 9 in this cell and eliminate the ones that this cell cannot contain one by one. So this cell sees 1, 2, 3, does not see 4 or 5, sees 6, 7, um, 8, and 9. So the only digits that this cell do not see are 4 and 5. And now look at um, column 4. There are two open cells which only contain two certain digits, in this case 4 and 5. So in order to avoid empty cells, I must keep 4 and 5 in these two cells. Because they're literally, well, yeah, they're literally the only digits that these two cells can contain. It's either 4, 5, or 5, 4. In order to avoid empty cells, I must keep both 4 and 5 in these two cells. So I can say that this 4-5 pair eliminates 4s and 5s from all other open cells in this column, which makes the other three open cells in this column a 2, 3, 9 triple. 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 9, and this cell sees 2, so it's 3 or 9. And there we have the 3, 9 pair. So yeah, um, as I did say earlier, this would not be the 4, 5, because firstly, because of the uniqueness of Sudoku puzzles, we cannot have this kind of rectangular thing containing all 4s and 5s, and in the other case, I did find the 4-5 pair in this column, so we know that this cell can only contain 3 or 9, which makes the other 4 open cells in this row a 1, 4, 5, 8 quad. So this cell sees 5, it's 1, 4, or 8. This cell sees 5 also, so it's 1, 4, 8. Yes, now in row 4, these two cells see a 5. This cell cannot contain a 5 because it's a part of the 3, 9 pair. This cell sees 5, and this cell also sees another 5. So in row 4, these open cells see another 5. So this is the only open cell in this row available for 5. So in row 4, the digit 5 is forced into this cell because it can only go here. All other open cells cannot contain 5. Has to go here. Okay, which does mean that the digit 5 in block 5 is forced into one of these two cells. Okay, this 5 makes this A4, this A5, and this A4 to resolve the 4-5 pairs. The missing digits of block 9 are 1, 3, and 5. The cell cannot contain 4. The missing digits of row 6 are 1, 5, 7, and 8. This cell sees 5, 7, and 8, so indeed this must be A1. Yeah, this cell sees 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, so it can only be a 1, because it can't be any other digits. Okay, and then these ones point left to force the digit 1 into the cell in block 4. Okay, this cell now sees a 4, so I can make this an 8 and this a 4 to complete the majority of row 4. This is strange. Okay, this cell cannot contain 4. 6, 7, and 8 are the missing digits of block 6, but this cell indeed sees 7 and 8, so it must be a 6. And this cell sees 8, so it's 7 and 8 like this. This one points down to force the digit 1 into this cell in block 9, which makes this 5 and 3 to complete block 9. This cell is a 4 to complete this column. Column 7 is missing 2 and 6, and column 8 is missing 3 and 7. This cell sees 1 and 4, so 4 has to go into this cell, which makes this an 8. Uh, and then this cell sees 5, so I can complete row 6 by placing the 7 and 5 this way. In row 7, 4, 5, and 7 are the missing digits, but this cell sees 5 and 7, so this cell has to be a 4. And this cell also sees 5, so 5 goes into the other cell, making this cell 7 to complete this row. And because of this 5, I can now complete block 7 by placing the 4 and 7 this way. This cell sees 1, so I can place 1 and 9 this way to complete row 8, which makes this 3, 9, 3, 9. This cell is a 7 to complete this column, 6, 5. This 6 makes this a 2, 6, and 9 in these two cells are eliminated. And this cell also now sees a 7, so I can make this 3, 7, 3, 2, and the Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, finished today's New York Times hard Sudoku in just under 24 minutes, so I would say this Sudoku puzzle, well, in my approach of solving the Sudoku puzzle, it's slightly trickier than usual hard Sudokus. I would say, yeah, it's a bit trickier than usual. So I'll go over some key spots as a quick summary. So I would say if we're talking about pairs of triples, definitely the 3-9 pair in block 4, as well as the 1-4-8 triple, which then you can also find the 5-6-7 triple in the same column after placing the 2. So yeah, the 3-9 pair in block 4, and then the 1-4-8 triple in the same block, which also works for column 3, and then the 5-6-7 triple in column 3. Alright, and then what else? What other pairs were there? I don't remember exactly. Sorry. Um, the 4-5 pair in... Oh, but the 4-5 pair is found after I found the 3-9 chain mechanism thing. I don't know. I don't know how you call that. But basically, after I placed this 2, I found out that this cell must be a 3 or 9, and the other 3 or 9 went up here. So in row 4, this cell could then only contain either 4 or 5. And from then, I found the 4-5 pair in column 7, the 4-5 pair in column 7, and also the 4-5 pair in column 4. The 4-5 pair in column 4 as well. So then, the 3-9 pair appeared in block 5, and um, basically things just collapsed from then. So, yeah, I don't really recall much or all the key spots, so yeah, hopefully this video helped. If you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you. Today is November 22nd, 2024. In this video, I've solved Wordle number 1252 and New York Times hard Sudoku for today. See you all in tomorrow's video. Bye!